Morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 175 in the book of Genesis. We're in Genesis chapter 45. Today's title is I'll Never Forgive You. Actually, we're going to look at Joseph's relationship with his brothers and see if that's his posture. So we went from yesterday where we're going to, at Joseph's theological high point, which was, you sold me, but God sent me. And that God was sovereign in the slop of his life. And today we're going to come down from that high theological point and ask, will I and when will I forgive? So Joseph could have been stewing on this with vengeance in his heart for 20 years. He could have been saying all along, when I see my brothers again, if I ever see them again, I'm going to kill them or worse. So let's ask this question then. Can I forgive someone before they ask forgiveness? And we're going to use Joseph as an example. Does Joseph forgive his brothers before they ask for forgiveness? And does he demonstrate a change of heart, a change in his heart, Joseph's heart, and a change of his behavior before he sees it in the other person? So Genesis chapter 45, verse 8. This is Joseph talking. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh and lord of all his house and ruler over the land of Egypt. So hurry up and go to my father and say to him, thus says your son Joseph, God has made me lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, you and your children and your children's children, and your flocks and your herds and all that you have. There I will provide for you. For there are yet 5 years of famine to come, so that you and your household and all that you have do not come to poverty. So that you and your household and all that you have do not come to poverty. Verse 12. And now your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see, that it is my mouth that speaks to you. Joseph, it's me, it's real me. You must tell my father of all my honor in Egypt and of all that you have seen. Hurry and bring my father down here. Then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. He kissed them all. After this, his brothers talked with him. So then a paragraph about Pharaoh's response. He's going to send wagons and all kinds of grain. He's enthused about this and invites Jacob down to the nation of Egypt and live there, and he's going to give him some land. Then verse 21. So the sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the command of Pharaoh, and gave them provisions for the journey. To each of them he gave a change of clothes. Clothes were very valuable in that day. But to Benjamin he gave 300 shekels of silver and 5 changes of clothes. To his father he sent as follows: 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, provision for his father on the journey. Then he sent his brothers away, and as they departed, he said to them, do not quarrel on the way. Very interesting thing to say. Verse 25. So they went up out of Egypt. They came to the land of Canaan to their father Jacob, and they told him Joseph is still alive. So this is 20 years after he's been mourning Joseph for 20 years. And he is ruler over all the land of Egypt. And his heart became numb, for he did not believe them. And when they had told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of their father Jacob revived. And Israel said, is enough. Joseph, my son, is still alive. I will go and see him before I die. So kind of one of the most interesting things for me of this passage was this charge to the brothers. When you go back and on this journey, don't quarrel on the way. Be kind to one another. So don't let this good news that Joseph is alive, God has redeemed your evil act, to use it to send Joseph into the most powerful house of Egypt, to save the people of Egypt, to save the people of Israel, and eventually to save the world through preserving the nation of Israel. So that's all good news. The bad news is your sin and your lie has been exposed, and that may cause you to blame one another and fight amongst yourself. So keep the big picture the big picture. So verse 15, it says that Joseph talked with his brother. I wonder it doesn't say that they specifically asked forgiveness. I wonder if they did. Remember a couple chapters ago in chapter 38, Judah has this change of heart. And here, in just more recently, he offers his life, Judah's life, in exchange for his imprisoned brother Simeon's life. So he sacrificially demonstrates, Judah is demonstrating a change of heart because he got caught red-handed with sin and almost burned his twin children. So Joseph does not, here's my observation for today, is Joseph does not wait for an apology from his brothers before he changes his heart towards them. So apparently Joseph has done the hard work before they walked in the door. Now, here's the thing about forgiveness. It's difficult. So it's what you're doing with someone who has wronged you. So don't conclude just because Joseph does it well that it was easy. So he demonstrates a strong, what I call a pregame, with his connection with the Lord. He works all this through somewhere along the 20 years. So his posture of his heart was dependent on the Lord, his justice, his sovereignty. Hey, you sold me, but he sent me. And it's independent of the brothers. And then he even encourages them, don't recriminate upon one another. So this begs the question is, can I forgive someone before they ask forgiveness? And we'll ask, does Joseph forgive his brothers before they ask forgiveness? I think the answer is yes. So Romans 5:8 says in the New Testament, God shows his love for us, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So when does Christ intervene for us? When we're at our worst, not after we earn it. So Joseph forgives his brothers before they walk in the door. Now, forgiveness is hard. Why? Because trespass, that's what the word means. It means it was offensive. So it's for Joseph, it's dependent primarily upon what goes on in his heart and his relationship with the Lord, rather than what is going on or what's coming out of his brothers' mouths. So Joseph does not say, I'll never forgive you. What Joseph seems to say is, I have forgiven you already. Thanks for listening.